What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Q, Quinte, or Quintessential. Whatever you know me as the host of BLK Talk. Guess what? We have an exciting show for you today, so sit back, tune in, and join the conversation. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Q, Quinte, or Quintessential. Whatever you know me as the host of BLK Talk. Guess what? We have an exciting show for you today, so sit back, tune in, and join the conversation. What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to an all-new episode of BLK Talk. First of all, I just want to thank you guys for sitting for the extra intro. You know, we always got some sort of technical difficulties, but I'm your host, Q Jackson, and I am so excited to have you guys here with us today. And more importantly, I am excited to have our next guest. This guy is my brother in media. This guy is a co-worker. This guy is friend. This guy is fellow, black and white striped shirt wearer, Mr. Johneri'O Scott, media personality, author, HIV advocate, and cook. I'm probably gonna say chef because chef is a little more up there. But this man is cook. It is amazing. Johneri'O, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I am amazing. Listen, I'm on BLK Talk with Q, and listen, I'm ready. I've been waiting for this, so I'm ready to hear what just to dig into the conversations that you have ready, and I'm just ready, y'all.
So I appreciate that, and I've been having the opportunity. I've been fortunate enough to watch you for the last, how many years has it been? 5, 4?
5.
For the last 5 years. And to watch you grow and to see, the ups, the downs, but the fact that you're still here doing what it is you love in media, in Atlanta, in the world, and making your mark. Like, I'm honored to be able to witness that. So we're definitely going to talk about that today.
Thank you, man.
So, for the people, introduce yourself and let the people know who Johneri'O is and what Johneri'O does.
All right. So first things first, y'all. My birthday is is August the 9th. It's coming up in a couple of days. 32. But my name is Johneri'O Scott. I am a talk show host, TV personality, media correspondent, published author, HIV advocate. As Q stated, I love to cook as well. It gives me comfort. It just gives me peace. And I don't know. I just love all things media. Like, I love media. I love talking to people. That's really a way that I learned. So I just learned through talking. And a lot of people also learn through talking or learn through watching. So it's like my show is really beneficial for me and for my viewers.
So what is the show and how long has the show been around?
So the name of my show is Let's Talk with Johneri'O Scott. I'm Johneri'O Scott. A lot of people are like, why you name Let's Talk with Johneri'O Scott? Because I like to talk and my name is Johneri'O Scott. And I think that my name is really creative. So I'm like, I'm going to use that because I was going to use J Scott, but I'm like, I want people to know my name. The world is going to know my name. So I was like, yeah, let me go on that. But I started my talk show in 2016, right after finding out that I was HIV advocate, HIV positive, and right after graduating from undergrad. I tried to work with BET and TV and other TV networks, but I didn't have the experience right after school, and I just got tired of getting rejected.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I went to school. I had my bachelor's in broadcast journalism. My minor was in creative writing. I was like, you know what? I have what it takes to really be what I want to be. So I just started researching and studying other individuals that was doing what I wanted to do. And then I worked or I interned at a radio station, and I was like, nah, I want the people to see me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, like this is cool, but I want the people to see me. So then
Mm-hmm.
I started blogging for different other outlets, and they were like, "You're an amazing writer." I'm like, "Yeah, I know that." And then I started writing for the newspaper, and all my every week my writings were on the front cover. Like I was there for 6 months, and when I say 6 months straight, I was on the front cover with my writings. So I was like, why am I working for other people? Like I can do this for myself. So that's when I added blogging to my talk show. So it's Let's Talk with Jonheri'O Scott talk show and blog. And I created my own website. Like I did it all by myself. And my first interview was Michelle Williams. My second
That's the
was
child. I love her.
Listen, yes, and she was amazing. Like her spirit, like she was amazing. My second was David Banner, which was funny and kind of because I was new to doing interviews, but I didn't want him and anyone else that was on my show to see that. And I just like I guess I was doing really well because the word was, and at that time I moved to Charlotte. So the word around Charlotte was this is new dude in the land. I mean Charlotte that's making moves and he making his imprint. And from there it just kept growing. Stella Awards, Grammys, um uh NAACP Image Awards. Like I just kept growing my brand from in-person interviews to one-on-ones to social media lives to red carpet. So that's what it is.
Now, if you look at you in action, while you're working, while you're interviewing these people, like you would never think that, you know, you never did this. Like
Right.
this always seems like something that you've done. But me personally, like I know how I was when I first started doing this. It wasn't something that I necessarily saw myself doing, but as I started doing it more and more and more,
Uh-huh.
it felt like it became something natural to
Mhm.
me. Now for you, how was that beginning phase? And did you feel, even though you have the degree in broadcast journalism, did you feel like you were going to be the personality, or did you want to work behind the scenes?
I started off so in undergrad I was behind the scene. Like that's why I know how to edit and shoot video content so well because I did it throughout undergrad. So it's actually my senior year we were actually in the studio and the talent didn't come in on time. Like she was late. She always was late, but she was late in the morning. And it was like my professor was like, Johneri'O, just go ahead and get up there on the stage and report something. And I was like, sir, no, like no. And if you know my voice is kind of soft, so he was like, what? I was like, no, like
Your
no.
voice is soft.
My voice is soft.
Jonheri'O, your volume
Well,
out
I'm
of
gonna
1
say
to
at
10
that
is
time,
always on 10.5. Your voice is
at
not
that
soft
time,
at
at that
all.
time, at that time, my voice was soft. And I was like, no. So I went up there. He started playing running the teleprompter, and I was like, I just was like, let me just do this. So I'm reading, and as I read the script that was provided, I was like, run that back, because I think I like this.
Mm.
So the rest of the class, they wrote scripts, and they was like, Johneri'O, well, you just stay up there and just read all our things. And I was like, fine. After that class, I left that class that day. Was like, yeah, I think put me in the front. Like, let me be the talent. Y'all do that. I step in to behind the scenes if y'all want me to, but the rest of this class, the rest of this semester, I'm the talent.
See, now the personality that you have on camera is definitely the personality that you have in real life. At least 95%. When you're tired, it definitely ain't that. But you still have that same personality. Like, did you always have an outgoing personality growing up?
Did I? Yes. I would say I'm the most outgoing person in my family when it comes to our age group, like in my family, like my cousins, my aunts and uncles that may be my age, like I've always been the most outgoing, most talkative,
Mm-hmm.
high spirit, vibrated person in my family. So it wasn't like new to them or surprising to them. It just was like, all right, Janira, you need to just embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
So as I began to embrace it, I started liking it, and then my smile, people was like, "Oh, I like your smile," and I'm like, "This is it. This is my time."
Because it is very infectious. And like, speaking of that smile, do you feel like, had you not been a media personality, what would that smile have been attached to? What would you have been had you not been a media personality?
Well, I was the first 2 years or the first year and a half of college, I was going to school to be a teacher. I wanted to be a
Shut
principal.
up.
I wanted
I
to be
can
a
see that
principal.
though. I can see it.
So I was like, all right, so I have a lot of educators in my family. So me going to school for education everyone was here for it. But I was like, no, like I don't want to be a teacher. After when it got to writing lesson plans, and I was like, yo, this ain't for me. Like, just put me like, even when it came to teaching, I wanted somebody else to create the lesson plan, and I just wanted to stand in front of the class and talk. Like,
So did you
I just want to
did you
teach.
try to teach?
So after school, after graduating from undergrad, and when I started my master's program online at Full Sail University, I was a teacher assistant for a year and a half right after undergrad. So I tried it. Even though I tried it, I was like, this ain't for me. Like, even as a teacher assistant, I was asking the other teacher, like the main teacher, let me teach. You do the lesson plan and let me get in front of the class and teach. Like, I just love to talk and entertain people. So that's what it was.
So talking, entertaining, and educating is definitely a big part of who you are or who you are. So over these 6, 7 years of being a media personality, you became a published author. And with this project, you are educating people on what?
Right. So I created my book, making it in media, because I have so many people even today that reach out to me asking how to pitch, how to start a talk show, how to
Mm-hmm.
create YouTube, like so many things related to media. So during the pandemic, I was like, all right. And during the pandemic, I was really working. Like, I was doing three live interviews a day. A
Now,
day.
look, we was in the pandemic. Well, Atlanta was in the pandemic for 6 weeks, but
Yeah.
well, we were in quarantine for 6 weeks, but we were in the pandemic for a year. Like,
Yes.
what did you learn about yourself and your brand during that time?
I learned that I can go. I learned that I really freaking love doing interviews. I love media. I learned that I even learned that I'm very resilient, that
Mm.
anything I want to do, I'm going to do it. Anything that I just don't let nothing get in my way. And going back to when I started my talk show, to inspire, empower, and to actually motivate myself, because I wanted to give up for so long because I felt like I wasn't where I need to be, especially right after college. Then finding out that I had HIV, like I just was like, yeah, no. So my talk show is really I created to motivate, inspire, and empower me. But I also thought that there's so many other people that dealt with what I was dealing with, whether, growing up in a small town, a single parent household, being the oldest male, being different than everyone else in my family, being gay, being in a family that is full of Christians. And, so I was like, yo, that was just the pros and cons. But I was like, yo, it was an outlet for me to push myself, really.
Mm.
So after finding myself and finding my voice in my talk show, and then seeing how I was inspiring and empowering and motivating other people that's from my town or small towns or that I met in college, it was just so great that I was like, yeah, like all of this is just to inspire, empower, and motivate not only me, but everyone else around me. And I've never been the one that was stingy on helping someone. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even growing up, my mom was a single parent. I used to help feed people in the neighborhood.
Mm.
Like, she'd be like, I thought I bought more stuff than this. I'm like, mom, we was eating, but I was out giving food to friends and stuff.
So that's why you bring them. That's why you cook big portions, because
Yes.
he's always feeding somebody at work. And I don't know, like if he wake up and be like, all right, today I'm gonna feed this one, and this one, and then tomorrow I'm gonna feed this one, and this one. But I might be on a program once a week, maybe if somebody don't come to work. But when I tell you, like, I love food, and I have never been disappointed by anything this man has cooked. But back to you and inspiring people. Like, how does that feel? Because I asked this because, like, me being from Cleveland, I moved from Cleveland when I was 20 years old. I came down here, and I was trying to figure out what it was that I wanted to do. So I eventually got into media, being an editor of a magazine, and all people were seeing was cues with this celebrity, cues with that celebrity. And the thing is, like, I wanted people to understand and know that we come from the same place. And there are opportunities out here for each and every one of us. You just gotta not be scared to take it. I
Right.
moved 700 miles. My first time moving out of my parents' house, I moved 700 miles away to Georgia, and became something that I didn't even know I was going to become. So you doing the same thing, moving from your hometown to Charlotte, then to Atlanta. How was that journey for you? Like, what do you feel like you've learned in each move of your life?
Honey, when I say Charlotte made me, and not Charlotte per se itself, but I've experienced so much. So started my talk show in 2016. I also moved to Charlotte in 2016 with $200 to my name.
Wow.
No job, slept on my cousin's couch for 6 months, from job to job, little small jobs. I was hiding my car because I didn't have money to pay my car insurance. So the whole year and a half, 2 years that I was living in Charlotte, wasn't paying car insurance. I just had enough money to put some gas in there. I barely had that. Then I found a good job that I thought was security. Got me an apartment. I would say a month in my apartment. I lost that job, but that job ended. So I was in my apartment with nothing. Like, I only had a bed, a couple of dishes. I did have a bathroom that was furnished. Mm-hmm. My bedroom was, it was suitable. And then I just lost everything. So hide in my car, can't barely pay my rent and all that, from job to job. Even I was doing that, in the midst of that, I was still interviewing. I interviewed again during that time. I interviewed Michelle Williams. I interviewed David Banner. I interviewed Yandy. I still was working. Like, no one knew, because at that point, media, my show and media became my life. It was how I got through. It was, I to this day, I remember not having any money at all and feeling so hurt, so down. But let me check my email and saw that I had somebody want to interview, or Charlotte had an event. Mm-hmm. I found my way. So when people say like something's their baby, I feel that, because my talk show is my baby. Without my talk show, of course, without God, because God carried me through all of it.
Who's the head of your life?
Who's the head of my life? God, hallelujah. But like, without that, like, that was my strength. Like, I remember telling people, if I could just do an interview a day, if I could just do an interview a week, that was my strength. That's where I found my peace. That's where I found my happiness. So even put that in my book, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 4 years later, putting that in my book, I'm just like, yeah, like, this is it. And I just, going through those couple of years of really going through and no one knowing, and me still looking good, with my smile, me still keeping keeping that persona, just keeping that front, like it just showed me that I could, like, I'm meant for this, and that greater is to come. But going back to my book, making it in media, I created that. It's like it's a step-by-step guide that teaches people on how to pitch yourself, how to prepare for an interview, how to deal with no's, which I turned no into the next opportunity. Just because it didn't happen that time, you can revisit it later. Put that right there. Next, like, don't let no's stop you, because I didn't allow any no, and I'm still not allowing no's to stop me. I also talk about how to sculpture, your interviews, or how to prepare, how to deal with who, what, when, where, how to use the pyramid, yeah, how to use that. Like, I just gave all gems, like how to pitch and then I also have other media individuals such as Latoya Washitoru, Katrina Garnes, Ty from, well, Ty is all over, but I call him the Prince of Hollywood. But I have all of them giving quotes in my book as well to give that motivation, because not only do I want my book to motivate people and educate them, but let me let you know that it's a community out here that supports you and that will hold you down.
Now, and congratulations on that. And I can't wait to the second book. Hopefully I will be asked to be quoted in that book, but whatever.
Yeah.
But whatever. But now, you spoke about having a community of people to support you. Now, as we know, that is when you're an entrepreneur, when you're somebody who is a creative and you have a drive, a passion, and something you want to do, having a support system is one of the most amazing feelings in the world. But let's talk about the opposite of that. When you feel like you need support, when you feel like you need motivation, when you feel like you just need somebody to say yes and provide you with that next opportunity. Let's talk about those moments where you're not getting the calls that you want. You're because we all have dealt with it, where you're sitting at home scrolling social media and you're like, hold on, I didn't know this event was going on tonight. Like,
Right.
this is something I should have been at. Like, how do you deal with those moments?
I still deal with those moments because it's like, what I want people to know, don't expect people to see what you see in yourself, because you be messed up. You will be messed up. Don't depend on others to give you your verification, your star, like,
Yeah.
because you will be in a depression. Don't do that. So going back, yeah, I still be in those moments because I'm a creative. Like, I like to go. Again, going back, media is my life. So I like to be on the carpets. I like to be, networking. I like to be talking, communicating with someone. So if I'm scrolling and I see, oh, it's a media tonight, a media event tonight, or tomorrow, and I know it's too late for me to submit my media credentials or whatever. Now I'm really getting in the mindset where, Jonheri'O, that one event that you didn't go to, or that interview that you missed, you're gonna have more. There's gonna be more. Especially having the drive that I have, which I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I just gotta network harder. I just gotta make more connections. Maybe who I connected with, maybe that was not the person I was supposed to connect with. Maybe, it was just a season or just a temporary thing. I now learned to change my mindset, because I feel like faith without work is dead. But your faith also go between your belief, and you manifest what you believe. So yes, I'm faithful, and I'm gonna be at events. I'm gonna do shows. I'm gonna have another interview, another email confirmation. But it's just that in those moments, I just have to tell myself, it ain't meant for you that time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be more. Because I feel like the more we dwell in that, dang, I could have been like, no. And then, especially if we have a catalog already, you got it. You got it. Just take that, and it's not an L. Take that moment for yourself. Maybe I'm so strong now on listening to God, so I'm just like, that wasn't for me. No, no,
But it is an L because sometimes it could be a lesson.
definitely a
See,
lesson.
you just gave me something when you said no. Like I never ever thought of no as that next opportunity. And
Yeah.
from now on, for as long as I live, I will never look at no's the same again.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate you for that.
No.
So you have been empowering people, you have been influencing people. Like if you guys not only watch his show, but if you watch his Instagram, if you watch his TikTok, if you watch Facebook, this man is out here. Everything that this man does is on social media, but it's in a very entertaining and empowering and uplifting thing. So you mentioned, being an HIV is advocate, survivor, whatever it is. When did you decide, like, because I know people have dealt with like the shame because there's stigmas, there's questions,
Right.
people have their assumptions and things like that, but um you're not letting that stop you. And truth be told, you're inspiring so many more people than you even realize by being you. When did you get to that point where you're like, you know what? I'm about to share this with the world. Not only am I going to share it with the world, I'm not going to make it look bad. I'm not going to make it look fun, but I'm going to make it look like what it really is. And, allowing people to see that they can live beyond just a virus.
Right. So I have to go back to when I actually found out I was HIV positive. So what first made me to go get tested was I had like these rashes, like mosquito bites on my legs. And again, I just graduated from school. I had just started this new job. So I was like, when I started the job, I had my own office. So I'm like, I didn't notice these scars on my legs until I started working here, which I don't know. But so I told the my supervisor at the time, I was like, can you clean this room? Like this office, y'all move me in this office and it's nasty. Like I'm going home and legs breaking out. So they cleaned the room 3 times. I'm still going complaining. Y'all clean this room good. So that one night I was laying down and I want to say I was on Facebook or MySpace.
Lord, MySpace.
And Lord. And ad for HIV just popped up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm me just reading because it popped up, and I'm like, oh, that'll be good. I should go get tested. Days go by, and since then it was on my head. Go get tested. Go get tested. Go get tested. And I'm like, I just started this new job. These people ain't gonna let me get no day off. I can't go on my lunch break. Like I just making excuses. So one night I was sleeping and I dreamt myself getting tested. I was like, you know what? I'm calling out of work in the morning. I don't care what these people say. Like, I'm going to get tested. So the dude I was talking to at that time, I was in a 3-year relationship. At that time, I was talking to this dude, and he had just started working at my job too. So I was like, yo, I'm not going to work in the morning. I said, can you take me to the doctor and then, bring me back to my car and then I go to work. So that day it was an excuse. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to work. The next day I asked him, it was an excuse. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take myself. At this point, I am gonna go. So I woke up early that morning, I went to get tested. And yo, just like how I had to test people and do their finger and all that, like it was the same thing. So he slid it to me and he was like, so you're HIV positive. I was like, what? Like, no, I didn't. I just came here, sir, because it was on my mind. But you telling me that no. So he was like, I'm gonna give you some time. He walked out, came back in. I'm thinking I was literally waiting for this dude to say psych, psych. I was playing. He came in, he was like, all right, so the next step. So you for real? Oh, you for real, for real. So I just bust out crying, like life flashing flashing around me. Then went through a little situation with, doing that and getting into care and all that day. But I said all that to say the reason I started because at that moment my mind my mind always go back to that moment and how now I'm doing working in HIV field and having to tell people that they're positive, or even having to tell them they're negative. Just being in that space, it always remind me of me. So I remember one day having a 7-year-old, having to tell him that he was positive, and just looking at how he was just so devastated, and his mom was there, and it was just, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna one day like be able to help other people beyond this wall. You know, like I want to be to the place where I'm educating people, like really educating the masses. So I continue to do my own research, continue to live my life in my truth, and just change my mindset to Jonheri'O. Like it's not how it once was. You know that, and you having people that they're finding out that they're positive, and the first thing they're saying is who's going to love me, or what I'm going to do now, or I'm sick, I'm dying. I just got tired of hearing that, and I was like, I'm a living proof. Like I've found out, I've graduated with my bachelor's, my master's. I've traveled the world. I've done everything that I wanted to do while having this stigma that people have, that people say. So I prayed and fasted, and I was like, God, like I want to tell people. Like I want to tell people. And my friends and family was like, you sure? People stigma. I'm like, listen, I don't care what nobody gonna say, because I know that whatever they gonna say is not true. Like they can say, oh, if you dying, you sick, you stink. And then when they look at me, they looking like, well, you ain't stink, you ain't dying, you ain't. So it's like, yeah. So I was like, I can end the stigma with me. I couldn't end the stigma silently, and no one knew. So again, I prayed, I fasted, and I wanted to come out with my status, but I wanted it to be creative. I wanted it to be me. So I remember laying down in bed and this idea coming to me, create a commercial. I am not HIV. I am. And I was like, what? And it just came to me. I'm not HIV. I am a brother. I'm a talk show host. I am a boyfriend. I am this. I am all these things. And HIV is still that, but I'm still that. I'm not HIV. I'm not my stigma. And then it went forward as I dwelt on it. It was like, this can also be for people that have cancer, that got high. Like you're not what society say holds you down. Like you're more than that. So I was like, you know what, God, thank you for this fast. I fast for the entire month of November. I fasted that year because I was like, I really want to do this, but I don't want it to be mediocre. I don't want people to be like, oh, child, you saw Jonheri'O post that he got HIV, he undetected. But no, I want to educate people and also show people that's living with HIV that you can do this. So that's when I got the gloves, like how people do and it's most people that do it, they do it because they beat cancer. But I was like, yo, I beat HIV. Like I want people to know that you're not your stigma. So that's how I came out with my status. I did a whole commercial spread. I also got PR behind me. Like I reached out to Afrotech. I reached out to Dr. Oz. I was on Dr. Oz. Like I really wanted this to really touch people and be creative as I am. So yeah, and just like it was really well, and let people know, and the responses that I received was amazing. Sorry for the fire alarm, y'all. Like
it's okay. We know y'all need to change the battery. That's why I didn't do the video downstairs, because I need to change my battery too. So
yeah, and I done changed all the batteries, so it's just got to be a wire thing.
It's okay. But like that is an amazing story, and I'm so happy that you're in a place where you're walking in your truth, where not only are you walking in your truth, but you have the opportunity to inspire people. Because like I said, we work together. So I see you on a daily basis, and I see how you move. and operate and function. And he's out here in the community, excuse
Yeah.
me, talking to the people, inspiring the people, and doing everything that, you know, another person probably said that you could not do.
Right.
So
Right.
as we wrap, I want you to leave the people with something to inspire them. But
Mm.
then if you had to sum up who Jonheri'O is, let people know, who is Jonheri'O Scott.
But first, what just give y'all some motivation or some empowerment. Most definitely, I would just say what I've done is start with looking in the mirror at yourself and saying that I am, and just say what you want to be, what you want to be, what you may not physically see, what you may not be physically doing. Say that. Look in the mirror. I, Jonheri'O Scott, is so and so and so. I am, just keep continue to tell yourself that every day, every day. Secondly, just write. Like write. They say write the vision, make it plain.
Mm.
Write it. Write it. Write it. Speak it. Write it and speak it. And I guarantee the more that you write it, the more that you speak it, the more you will actually see it. You're gonna motivate and push yourself. You're not gonna need anybody to motivate and push yourself. You can be your motivation. You can be that push that you need. You just gotta keep doing it. And what Jonheri'O, what myself? How would I? Yeah, I'm hard on myself. I ain't gonna lie, I'm hard on myself. But I'm learning to give myself grace every day. I'm learning to give myself grace. Jonheri'O, I would say I'm resilient. I'm strong. I'm a lover. I am a media guru. And I just want to continue to allow my life to be a light to someone else.
Jonheri'O, I want you to continue to be the light that the dear Lord put you on this earth to.
Yeah.
You are, if I've never told you, you are an amazing person, and I am definitely thankful to have you in my life.
Thank you, twin.
Right. And I wish you so much success in everything that you're doing. And I want you to let the people know, how can they find you? How can they watch current, past, future shows? And also, how can they order the book?
All right. So, you guys, you can follow me on all social media platforms at Jonheri'O Scott. On IG, it's Jonheri'O, literally it's ITS Jonheri'O. On YouTube, just type in Jonheri'O Scott or the Let's Talk Show Jonheri'O Scott. You will see my channel. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell at the top so that you can see all my reoccurring interviews that I'll be dropping. Right now is my birthday month, so I'm taking a little break, but I'll be back. But meanwhile, just keep streaming on all podcasts. I'm on Apple, I'm on Amazon, I'm on all podcast platforms. And my book is on Amazon. So you go to Amazon, type in Jonheri'O Scott, my book will pop up like that, Make It in the Media. And yeah, just make sure y'all connect with me. And I'm all about helping somebody. Listen, people say that they'll help you, but nah, for real. Because I know how it is doing it yourself and being the only one that believe in yourself. Listen, if nobody ever told y'all, I believe in you, right? I believe in y'all.
And on that note, I appreciate you, Jonheri'O. I wish you much, much success.
Thank you, Q. Same to you. Like, this guy right here is the GOAT. Like, be humble. Be humble.